ne yɛbɛka sɛ Iraq yɛbɛka sɛ Iraq na nkurɔfoɔ yi bɛtena ɛyɛ Mesopotamia na saa nkurɔfoɔ yi ana wɔn traditional myth meka myth a mekyerɛ ɛyɛ abakɔsɛm a ɛwɔ traditionally ɛkyerɛ wɔn sɛ Onyankopɔn ɛbɔ ɛyɛ Adam no anaa bɛrima a wɔdi kan Onyankopɔn bɔɔ no ɛda a ɔbɔ no mpatsɔ fa second picture no to so ma me eti this is Sumerian na sesiai no anaa Mesopotamia sesiai no yɛbɛtumi aka sɛ Iraq Iraq na wɔn mu susu sɛ ɛyɛ Onyankopɔn ɛbɔ ɔbɛrima a odi kan no ana afei Onyankopɔn saa da no a ana ɔbɔ ɔbaa a ɔno so di kan bɛbɛtɔ wotie ne yie paa eti ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ Onyankopɔn bɔ Adam anaasɛ bɛrima a odi kan no ana ɔbɔ ɔbaa a odi kan saa da no a sei na Sumerians wɔn myth ɛkyerɛ ɛnyɛ biblically approved. It is not recorded in any of the 5 monotheistic religions. Meba bekyerɛkyerɛ mu amu ehunu sɛ ɛyɛ traditional wɔn deɛ no no kura na wɔn kura no they are even Muslims now, but in Quran it is not in the Quran sɛ Onyankopɔn ɛbɔ ɛyɛ Adam no a ana ɔbɔ ɔbaa ɔyɛ ne ho kani da no a na ɔbaa bɛyɛ na wɔn ka na asɛm yi wɔn no ɛyɛ Sumerian foɔ yi a wɔn abɛtena Mesopotamia yi wɔn kyerɛ sɛ wɔn de biribi a wɔn wɔ ne din nsuo kura wɔn se yɛ onyame ɔhɛ so mframa wɔn wɔ onyame ɔhɛ so eti ahohom bia wɔn susu sɛ adeɛ bia wɔ ne Nyankopɔn a ɔhɛ so eti saa nkurɔfoɔ yi kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ Onyankopɔn a wɔn frɛ no Enki, the God of creation and wisdom. Enki, ɛna wɔn no Enki. Wɔn pɛ sɛ wɔn kyerɛ sɛ Enki ɛbɔ bɛrima a odi kan no saa da no ana ɔbɔ ɛyɛ ɔbaa a odi kan ɔbaa a odi kan no wɔn si yɛ frɛ no ɛyɛ Lilith. Producer mi da ase mpatsɔ yi fi suma mi mpatsɔ yi Enki ni fi suma mi ɔbaa a odi kan no according to Sumerian wɔn kyerɛ sɛ ɛnyɛ Hawa ana ɛnyɛ Eve mpatsɔ ɛnɛ ebe kyerɛkyerɛ mu ama ehun yɛn ti a yɛnya nkurɔfoɔ bi a wɔn agye saa gyidie no so atum a wɔn kyerɛkyerɛ social media miwia I'll give you the chance to do what? Ask the question. wɔn kyerɛ sɛ ɛnyɛ Eve ana ɛnyɛ Hawa na emom ɛyɛ ɔbaa bi a yɛfrɛ no Lilith ana Lilith Lilith na ɔkwan a Onyankopɔn fa so bɔɔ ɔno no ɔbɔ no ne sɛ Adam pɛpɛɛpɛ ɔbɔɔ ne Adam nyinaa da baako na ɛsan sɛ ɔne Adam yɛ pɛnti na saa ɔbaa ne mpɛ sɛ ɔbɛbu ɛyɛ Adam anaasɛ ɔbɛbrɛ ne ho ase ama Adam sɛ na wɔn pa akyerɛ o wei ɛyɛ wɔn nkyerɛkyerɛ na yɛwia we will come to realization say some of their points are not logical, they are very disputing na afei wo asɛm bi a no abisa eti sesia deɛ oba ɛyɛ Sumerian myth deɛ na obisa sɛ who is the first woman on earth wɔn bɛka kyerɛ wo sɛ ɛyɛ Lilith obisa wɔn sɛ who is Lilith ɔno na ɔda hɔ no aha ana wonya mfa ne nto so wodina to so yeah eti Lilith na da hɔ no according to Sumerian they want to say that this is rather the first woman on earth beba cho fa entroye bi de no to so mame ha meet Lilith, Adam's first wife. Adam's first wife. Lilith was created by God from dust and placed to live in the garden with Adam until problem arose between Adam and Lilith. When Adam tried to exercise dominance over Lilith. One story tells that Lilith refused to lay beneath Adam during sex. Mbechera wase wa ha. Mbechera wase wa producer me da se. Na wa ensem ya wo mo kan. Producer me da se. Ensem ya wo mo kan. Tie. Be so mo kire se. Onyankopon bo Lilith ane Adam dakro. Omo ye pe. Obi nsi obi. Ana afei Adam pese wo kire se wo ye bema. Eti eye Lilith embre ne ho ase ma no. Ana Lilith se sa ade no so de onye firi se one Adam nyina ye pe. Ha. Na afei nso no omba so mo kire se sebi manim enamu na Adam pese sebi Lilith momu ba fom ono momu da ho na ono Adam no be on top of Lilith. Ana Lilith si da bi meme na ho ma wo sebi o meda me so firi se ye nyina ye boy ye pe meme da fom na meda me so na kire se ubu ma bomfia o pese o kire se me no mimi swa ese no eti wampene mbato wutie pa enti wampene eti wo mo met ne kire se esan se ntokwa esi eye Adam ene Lilith ntam na mentem wase bae no at once ana Lilith bo Nyankopon din obo Nyankopon din pe no ofufu ntaban ana wo tufi a garden of Eden ana ko pe ne ba bi tina ye sade e be ya obenya ne fa ahodie na watena sidin and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. In verse 27. Verse 27. Verse 27. I say, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God. In the image of God created him, him. Male and female created he them. See, I say a hand can straight say, Oba any bema, Anna, Obo. The myth, according to the Sumerians, no. But so much I say, so when you go on cast say yembo nipa na at once by force, Obo Oba ne bema ne de. Any na sa Oba no. Ana ye frɛ no ɛyɛ lelefi. Na ye bisa wo mo so say because ma wo say even Ghana ha kora no. Ye won krofo a wo mo gisa ade die ebi keka bi say lelef ana say Adam ware emanu bebre ana say lelef ɛyɛ Oba the first woman enye Hawa na Eve. Enya so phone bebre wo so kire sa na mani bi on social media. Mesra me bisa question. Say mo si book go to Torah ana say Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. To say Lilith is the first woman on earth there. Then the first man on earth is wine. Because according to Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, yambo obabiadi yambo bemabiadi wo. So you cannot say the first woman is Lilith and then the first man is Adam. No. What must I say pa? Genesis chapter 2 no. Na actually kwan ya afei onyankopon fa so bo enipa. We can say Genesis chapter 2 is different from Genesis chapter 1. Mr. Wobua. Genesis chapter 2 was explaining how things were created. Genesis chapter 1 bo so onyankopon bo say. Genesis chapter 2 was explaining how things were created. In Genesis chapter 2 and we can say na onyankopon te ya form dotie e de nyini nipa. Genesis chapter 1 onyankopon bo nipa obo ne sen. Do you understand it now? But what am I say pa? Genesis chapter 1 no onyankopon bo nipa. Oba ne be ma no bo wo mo. Okwan be no fa so bo wo mo. Wo mu din de sen. In Genesis chapter 2 and e ba na be kire mu yie. Say onyankopon e de form dotie enwene eye onipa. Eti Adam and Eve dina nanke was ye born Genesis chapter 1 ya mo. It's Genesis chapter 2 and e be bo say. So you cannot base on this text and say because the Bible said and God made male and female at instant. How kind of Genesis chapter 1 then it means that very day God created two people. No. Yeah. But so what me say pa? Eti sa Sumerian myth now. Omugidie bi a omunyae no. Womo si eye Lilith. Anna eye the first woman on earth no. Mr. It is not logic. If it is logic, they should come and tell us the first man on earth. We don't want the first man on earth to be Adam if it is logic, if what they are saying is logic. How can you tell me, say, Ofuntabano 2 years? Lilith no, your Bible is one day, or your demon. Auntie, your best and one day, pale. But before that, they are said, or someone, a wo we are see, or someone we are see, baby, does. Your traditional religion. But I know our African traditional religions. There's some say no be any day. But ye wo osom maako num tie ye wo osom maako num a ye from monotheistic religion omo ye osom a womo gidi se onyankopon eye baako pe na womo som onyankopon nko a sa osom maako num nyina a womo gi nyankopon die onyankopon antro ama wana onyankopon anfa ama womo se womo ntro any of their sacred text mu say the first woman on earth is Lilith ana Lilith osom maako 5 ya make us the monotheistic religion the edikan Christianity and as a Christian religion Christosome and it is the largest religion in the world. It is the largest religion in the world. Now the founder Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Yeah. The dikana. It me ba with the 5 monotheistic religions. Na yakwa ko hwe se odisa me da ase why ade pa. Na yakwa ko hwe se aso sa 5 monotheistic religion womo nyina omo gidi se onyankopon obo Lilith ana se wa mo Lilith as Adam yere. Yeah. It's Christianity, Jesus Christ. Islam. The Prophet Muhammad. Islam. The Prophet Muhammad. Yes, sir. And Islam is the second largest religion. Yeah, Islam. Now, the third religion, Judaism. Judaism has a founder as Abraham. And I said Abraham. Ne papa Terah. They settled in the land of Mesopotamia. Yeah. And now, Sumerian for no. Yeah. Sumerian for now, omo ya no more go to Torah, because Torah and everything is Abrahamic or Judaic religion. Eti omo ya no more go to Torah, but they misquote it. Abraham, the founder of Judaism. So this am that say. Afei yawo osumbi eno so ye monotheistic almost gi nyankopon di se mabọ miensa aka mienu yawo osumbi almost gi nyankopon di se onyankopon e ba ko no mo sum nyankopon pe friend Sikhism the founder of Sikhism your friend Guru Nanak enti eye edin ya mebuboy opa obetima wakọ research no bisa se sa osumi nyina no omo gidi se why oba be dey kan ba asase so first omo gidi pa ena e bi ameka Judaism, Christianity and then Islam. Okay, producer me that say. Now the last one American or some American etwato I count man here 5 monotheistic religion no. Baha'i faith. Na Baha'i faith no. Omo founder no. Omo founder your friend Mirza Hussein Ali Nuri. Mirza Hussein Ali Nuri. Yeah. Mirza Hussein Ali Nuri. So this time me da say. Eti sa monotheistic religion mako 5. One mo acknowledge say onyankopon bo oba be ma no bo oba na ye Hawa be ma na ye Adam na lele free lele free eti maka cho say lele o ye demon enti ye be ka no asem ne ene ye be ye demonology kakra ya na wahunu ni nyuma ene ne niema oye eno kra nso no kra no eye wɔn gyidie, wɔn research, wɔn myth, wɔn traditional history ni stories ana ɛkyerɛ Lilith ne dwuma a odie ana ɛkyerɛ ne dwuma a odie eti ne dwuma a odie a mɛba bɛka wɔ ha it is not biblically approved. It is not recorded in Judaism. It is not recorded in Hinduism. Hinduism, they say, a monotheistic religion. It is not recorded in Judaism, in Christianity, Islam, Sikhism, or Baha'i faith. Yeah. But a woman, chere. No. Eti, yeah, kwa show video bi abasisi a ho. Meba yɛbɛbɔ wura ɛyɛ Lilith ne dwumadie ankasa. But before that, the producer center wobɛtumi nya writings ni bia ɛkyerɛ Christianity anaasɛ yɛnsa hyɛ Muslim kwan a wɔn gyi di sɛ Onyankopɔn ɛbɔ ɔbaa ne bɛrima no anaasɛ wɔn gyi di sɛ wɔn ne ɔbaa a odi kan baayɛ anaasɛ wɔn ne bɛrima a odi kan baayɛ na ɔde ato so ama no sisi a na ɔde ato so ama no nti before that nfa Lilith to so no amanfo nhwɛ no okay ɔde yɛn kenkan deɛ ɛda so yi dabi fa first one to so ma no yɛn kenkan adeɛ wei ɛda hɔ yi sɛ ɔhwɛ me a yɛn kenkan ne sisi a obisa sɛ why are there two stories about the creation of woman? Mesrao, we don't have two stories about the creation of woman. It's young kenkan. I'll say Lilith. Lilith's name is not included in the creation story of the Torah, but she appears in several Midrashic texts. There are multiple origin stories for Lilith, but the most popular story depicts Lilith as the first wife of Adam. Lilith was created by God from dust and placed to live in the garden with Adam until problem arose between Adam and Lilith when Adam tried to exercise dominance over Lilith. One story tells that Lilith refused to lay beneath Adam during sex. She believed they were created equal, both from the dust of the earth. Thus, she should not have to lay beneath him. After Adam disagreed, Lilith fled the Garden of Eden to gain her independence. Adam told God that Lilith had left, and God sent 3 angels to retrieve her. The angel found Lilith in a cave bearing children. But Lilith refused to come back to the garden. The angels told her they would kill 100 of her children every day for disobeying God. Yeah, me that's it. Producer me that's it. Eti weye adia oma gie dia trato. Oma gie di no ma trato wo se enye if ne di kan na emum eye Lilith. What ma say? Lilith. Eti sebeba ebe bo ewura Lilith mu yie. Na ya hwe ni nyuma ene se na omo dwene se Lilith ye na ade. Sesia no according to omo no omo se Lilith 2 ye no. Kope ba bitina ya no Nyankopon soma abofo maako miensa. Mebo omo din a kire sesia. Na abofo maako miensa no koye no. Lilith ka kire omo se mensan ma garden obi me bu afu. Adam peso hye me so. Mempene. Me ma garden obi me ama ba benya ba bi atra. E na abofo ne ka kire Lilith se wo so ma dia ti ase se de bia ye bekum wo ba tie se Lilith ye born ye did not na born na ohia bema ansa na wawa because according to Bible no the Torah or the Pentateuch Genesis say onyankopon bo oba ne bema no ka kire o mo se monwo na mo nnore say one logical question over here tieniye and say oba na mpene se Adam ne beda eti otu ya okoye na abofo no koto no se owo no oye den no nyim onyin sen ye oye nipa because ye born no ha eti oye den ana na owo according to the myth of the Sumerians omo kire se owo de bia na owo bebre nso na edebia nso ne mane mako 100 ana ewu because above me nsa ne ka kire say every day omu beku ne mane mu mako miensa ne mane mu mako 100 omu beku no ha etu de ma mentwa me hombra me pese ye beba wuram bebre mentwa me hombra na afen yambo wuram me show pictures above ni di nkomo ha yanko hwe video ni mbra sisi a yanko hwe video ni bape na ya bo awuram na ya domu suko yanko hwe video ni mbra sisi a
Are you a singer?
Some of you may remember in the video discussing the succubus, Lilith was a name that appeared as an early example. The most common description of Lilith, however, is as a demon of the night, seductive and sexual in nature, but also deadly. And if that wasn't enough, she also waits until the cover of darkness to steal babies and young children. This concept can be traced all the way back to ancient Mesopotamian religion, where there once existed a figure known as Lamashtu, the daughter of the sky god Anu. To some, she was an evil goddess, to others a demon, a monster that plagued women during childbirth, one that would steal their children, suck out their blood and marrow, only to gnaw on the bones that remain. The mothers themselves were not safe from Lamashtu, and neither were their unborn children, as she could make women miscarry. As one of the most terrifying demons in Mesopotamian myth, her actions were not just limited to pregnant women. She would drink the blood and eat the flesh of men. She infected one's dreams until only nightmares were left. Wherever she went, she was followed by sickness, disease, and death. With these stories of Lamashtu, we can definitely see a parallel with creatures such as vampires and the succubi. Today, many think of Lilith as the first wife of Adam, who rebelled and was later replaced by Eve. This idea stems from the book of Genesis, the very first book in both the Hebrew Bible and the Old Testament. Genesis 1 details the creation of the universe as well as everything inside of it. It says that God created the heavens, the earth, vegetation, animals, and lastly mankind in his own image to rule over what he had created. What's important to note is that Genesis 1 states that he created both man and woman at the same time. Genesis 2 is very similar, discussing the creation of the universe, but it differs in regards to the creation of man and woman. Here, man was created first. Not wanting his creation to be alone, God sent man into a deep slumber and took from him a rib, which he would use to create the first woman. So essentially you have two contradicting accounts of our creation, one right after the other. To many, the word of God is sacred, and therefore cannot contradict itself. This led to scholars explaining the differences between Genesis 1 and 2 as describing two separate events, rather than two accounts of the same event. This in turn created the need for a story that explained these differences, which would be found in what is referred to as Midrash. The explanation here is that God needed to create woman twice, once with man and then again from man. The woman in the first story isn't identified in Genesis, but would eventually be known as Lilith. The woman in the second story is who we know from the Bible as Eve. So if you've ever heard the story of Eve being created from Adam's rib, that is the story found in Genesis 2. Lilith also appears in the Talmud, and these accounts are far less ambiguous than what we see in Genesis. She appears here a total of 4 times and is never referred to as Adam's wife. Where the Babylonians referred to Lilu as winged male demons, the Talmud speaks of Lilith or Lilitu as a demon with wings and the face of a woman. It says that a man sleeping in a house alone may be seized by Lilith. It's said that she collected the semen of men while they slept in order to create more demon offspring, which again can be seen as one of the earliest examples of the succubus. She is then also associated with several demons, one of these being Agrath, a demon of the night who preys on children and the vulnerable. So far we can see 2 distinct images of Lilith, the woman and the demon. But what happened in this middle ground from when she was created all the way up until she became a demon? Stories explaining this were developed in much detail around the Middle Ages, so from the 5th century to the 15th. The Tales of Ben Sira and the Alphabet of Sirach are pieces of work that echo a sentiment that many scholars and scribes seem to agree upon. When Adam and Lilith were created, neither one of them wanted to submit to the other. To some, this just meant who assumed the dominant role in the relationship, whereas others took this to mean neither one wanted to assume the bottom position during sex, as it was a sign of subservience. With neither one of them willing to compromise, Lilith then fled the Garden of Eden. Out loud, she then pronounced God's real name, and in doing so she instantly became a winged demon. When the angels pursued her in the hopes of bringing her back, she told them she had no intention of returning. As punishment for her disobedience, the 3 angels who found her promised to kill 100 of her demon children every day. Her purpose now was only to cause illness and sickness to the infants of others. Whenever a child was born, she would claim dominion over that child for 8 days if they were a boy, and 20 if they were a girl. With this there came only one compromise. Whenever she saw the name of any of these 3 angels inscribed on a medallion or an amulet, that child would be left alone. There isn't much surviving material from the Akkadian Empire that allows for an in-depth analysis of Lamashtu or the Lilitu in relation to Lilith. But what we do know from the Babylonians and Sumerians is that all of these creatures were fairly similar, and it's not a huge stretch to say that they may have influenced Lilith's story in some way. The lack of information regarding her origin is made up for by how popular her story was. The Middle Ages mark this period like no other, with numerous tellings and interpretations. Depictions of her varied from a beautiful woman to a more sinister demon, and some even saw her as the snake in the Garden of Eden who tempted Eve with the forbidden fruit, as one final act of revenge. As time went on, there were folktales that saw Lilith as a demon queen, and thus related to Asmodeus, who many consider to be the king of demons. Asmodeus being mentioned in the Book of Tobit, the Talmud, and numerous other scriptures means it's not really a huge surprise that Lilith and he were paired together as the mother and father of demons. Together they had thousands of demon children, and travelled from village to village causing chaos and destruction. In some stories, she's also closely linked with Samael, who himself is a rather odd character. Some teachings in the Cabal go as far to say that Lilith was Samael's consort, and that it was not God who created her, but instead Samael who made himself a demon wife, who filled the role later intended for Eve. He also gave her a host of demonic children, one of these being Asmodeus, who we mentioned earlier. Throughout all these stories, there are 3 main sides to Lilith. The woman who rebelled against God and Adam, which is the side we see the least of, the seductive demoness who plagued the dreams of men to grow her demonic family, and lastly the monster who preyed upon pregnant women, devouring their children. When I first read about Lilith, I immediately drew some parallels between her and some of the creatures we see in Greek mythology. When you think of an odious and foul-smelling bird-like creature, the harpies certainly come to mind, but so do the sirens, who have a more seductive nature. However, the character who closest resembles and embodies these three sides of Lilith is Lamia. These three stages are almost mirrored in her story. She begins as a regular woman who falls victim to lust, and as a result her children are killed as a punishment. She's then transformed into a monster. In some tellings, Lamia and the Lamiae are vampiric demons who feed off the blood of young, handsome men. There are also versions of this story where instead of young men she hunts for children, forever seeking revenge for those she had lost. Much like Lilith, Lamia was intended to be a cautionary tale, a boogeyman-like figure, although her story is much less about rebellion and more so the dangers of lust. Honestly, stories of Lilith are rather confusing. It's only really because of stories from Midrash and other scholars that we can even draw a link between the demon and the wife of Adam. However, this hasn't really harmed her representation in popular culture. There are a few references that I remember, but looking into it further, I was definitely surprised at the number of books, movies, games, and TV shows that her name actually appears in. Fans of Chronicles of Narnia may or may not know that the White Witch is actually a descendant of the first wife of Adam, which in this case is of course Lilith. In the TV show True Blood and the movie 30 Days of Night, Lilith appears as the name of a vampire. And this is honestly quite a common trend. When she does appear, it's either as a succubus or a vampire. Old school supernatural fans may remember her as the first human to be tempted by Lucifer into becoming a demon. Speaking of Lucifer, in that show she's also referred to as the mother of demons. One that I missed that actually has quite an interesting take on Lilith's story is the fifth element, which sounds quite weird to say considering it's a futuristic sci-fi. Lilu is portrayed in a similar way to Adam's first wife, and her speaking ancient Aramaic now makes more sense than when I watched the movie as a kid. Instead of destroying humanity, she actually ends up saving it, turning the original story on its head. When it comes to video games, if you've played anything remotely popular, it's likely you've seen her name somewhere, as it appears in Final Fantasy, Borderlands, Diablo, Darksiders, Devil May Cry, and many, many more. Personally, I think Lilith has an interesting story, regardless of how confusing and stitched together the original references may be. Whether you see it as a fall from grace or a rebellious uprising, it's a very universal concept, which is why I think it's referenced so often today. It may also have something to do with the occult and modern fantasy going hand in hand. Let me know what you think about her story, and whether you noticed how often she appears today. If you have enjoyed the artwork and animations for this video, they were created by the very talented Mando Teresa, who also made the Medusa artwork and animations. So if you'd like to check her work out, there'll be a link to her YouTube channel and other socials in the description of this video. I am also excited to announce that due to popular demand, many of these episodes will soon be in podcast form on all the major platforms. So if that's something you're interested in, keep an eye out for that. As always, I've been your host, Mythology and Fiction Explained.
Are you a singer?
Video no na yakwa kakra ya ba documentary kakra fa Lilith ho according to the myth of the Mesopotamians and I say the Sumerians that time. Omatimi agine mu a be pemo ne. As I'm talking to you, say ancient Mesopotamia. As I'm talking to you here, it is Iraq. Yeah. And you know that these people are Muslims now. these people are Muslims now. They believe in the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. They believe in the Holy Quran. I don't know if this myth they still hold it. Because I don't think that any Muslim will tell you that God created Lilith alongside with Adam. But what am I saying? Because Quran believe that Allah created Hawa. Allah created Adam, and they were the first people to be on earth. So a nipa was a descendant of these two people. About what I say, producer, but we mean they are to swim. I know Islam there. I know Islam there. In short, Muslims do not believe that human beings randomly evolved from apes. The life of human beings began with the creation of two people. Of what? Two people. A male and a female named Adam and Hawa. Into bracket Eve. The Quran describes how Allah created Adam. We created man from sounding clay, from mud molded into shape. This is Islam. It is now say what's what was here bribi bia e fa lele fo ho na ama ba die di say Bible ne kura nka no ko de na enya awa bia na say enya if bia ne oba odi kan misrao jai na this sa Sumerian myth na myth na oma scripture to one. That is not how it is. Say okoti eye Judaism na obekoti Torah. Say even the Torah is saying God created a male and a female the same day. And I'm actually was here. In Judaism, they don't believe say Onyankopon ebo Lilith any Adam. In Judaism, and these are in Judaism. Adam and Eve, according to creation myth of the Abrahamic religion, Abrahamic religion, and we are talking about Judaism. Yeah, were the first man and woman. They are central to believe that humanity is, in essence, a single family with everyone descendant from a single pair of original ancestors. Producer Medase. All these monotheistic religions, the 5 monotheistic religions, do not believe that God created Lilith. So the myth and the story about Lilith, according to Wamo, according to the Sumerians, no. Minim baby on konya free. Etiyanshe eye Lilith, according to Wamo mujuma womudi. Etisa wo hwe me na so what star asem na wa gie dia. Obetimi afre, me ma akonya ne ba obetimi afre. No wa kire ne ntia wo so twere sem no. Eye the Pentateuch, and I said the Torah, which is the 5 books of Moses. Enkanokre, ne ntia wo pese wo kire se enkanokre no. Obetimi afre. Na wa bisa. Obetimi afre so no wa kire wa dwen e wa. But the tie ne say Lilith a demon according to Omo. Abra oya aswoden ka se oni Abraham oni Adam entna garden nim no ofun taban. Ofun taban. Bo Nyankopon di mpe. According to Omo story no ana Lilith etu free garden of Eden. To free a garden of Eden. And also me mentna garden ho. Also me mentna garden ho. Me kwa kope baby atna na majima home. Eti okwatna ase no ana eye abofo mako miensa Onyankopɔn soma wo mo se mo kona mo kan chale lefu se on sambra the garden of Eden on sambra ana le lef se da bi se me ba garden of Eden Adam ade manim beye fom Adam de manim beye fom ana abofo ne se masa ma ye kan kire wo se wo se wo nkode a because nukure no omo ba to no according to our story ni chese on beto no na wa wo ma bebere on beto no na wote ho a ni metwa ne ho ahia ya ne ma atwa ne ho ahia ana lelif ka kire abofo miensa no ba chofa abofo miensa ne se anya de me se ba bi ana abofo miensa ne ka kire ka kire lelif se wo se won san ba garden of Eden dia ye no ko contract bi ye ka kire wo se efiri ne wo bia ye bekum o man mako 100 ana lelef se enye hwe wo bekum man mako 100 a enye hwe nembom mo so mo ntia ase se me so akola bia oye bema ye be wo no owo from the first day to the 8th day or 8 days. So 8 days ne suna minkuni bio. Nemom me make sure se me kuma kola bia oya bema ya ba wonu from the first day to the 8th day no me so me kunkum kola sa. Eti na Sumerians for no agidi se akola bia owu ya wonu no wawu no na aya lelef and ekum sa akola no akola bia obewuo from the first day to the 8th day bia no almost to say lelef ana ekum sa akola no ade hye anamu ana say odi tia ka say abofo ne ka so mbekum ne manti ono so say ene ono so bekum enkola na mbom sa akola ne yoba akola ne yoba eno de otwen kakra ebetime di be 20 days 20 days there and I say bua 12 days bua 20 days na or they are check akwaran but this 20 days period no obetimi akum obabia when you say days na mbom no say 20 days ne pound there onkum sa akwaran bio ana eye abofo no ene ne kwa agreement bi say opesa hukum nkola omo anya 8 days and 20 days na wontimi nkum akola yen yedin ewo ne so ana lelef say okay se yewo akola bia na omo de amulet eto eye akola no komu a awon ade na yede to nkola komu no ade na de nkola komu no se mudi bitu nkola ni komu ana se efio ye bana ade bi esen ho na sa ade na esen ho amleti esen we emu bia na ya tworo abofo yi a mugina manimu yi ya tworo mu ba akokora din wo so a sa fi omi nkuma akola na wo fi ho Ambacho wati ase producer me da ase eti omo kire se eye lelef ene abofo ikos agreement no lelef ene abofo ikos agreement no abofo ba ko ye friend Sinoi ye friend Sinoi ana abofo ba ko so menhwehwɛ ne din no mfɛma Sansinoi. Yeah, Sansinoi. Ana obafo ba kon so ye frɛ no Simangilo. Simangilo. Odusa medase. Medase. Eti according to omo history ni kyerɛ sɛ abafo yi ni ɛyɛ ɔba odi kan yi tena ase. Ana omo se sɛ unim na wamba yebekum mama akoma 100. Afei so no uni ukwan sɛ obekum akola bia me Sinoi midin ɛda ne kom ana sɛ obegba wura fie hɔ na midin ɛbɔ hɔ Sinoi yo ana bafo ba kon so ɛde Sansinoi nti ana bafo ba ko de Simangilo aha Simangilo tie ana Lilith ati ase sɛ okay mate ase me nkum nkola mudin ɛdeda wɔ mo so ni bi me nkum bi ne mo se me bowura fie bi mu ne awo akola bi no ebema from the first 8 days me hunu sign bi asa bafo mummi esa mudin wo wa be kum sa bafo enti na sa time no Mesopotamians ana se Sumerians o ma betena Mesopotamia no na abofra bi ewu wo a o mususu se sa abofra no eye enti se wo so sa daye no a according to wo mo wo so sa daye no a na chese wo ma akwakodi Adam yiri pani a ye frɛ no Lilith eho ba so watem ase pa na afei so eye Lilith yi osanso ye demon a te say wo ba ho a wo mo gidi say Lilith eye demon a okum ankwala afei so ogi emema eho ensuo afei so mo sanso say Lilith timi dane ne ho oba kama na waba aba be sediusu oba ebema physical na wasanso ene wa hia eno so hu nsuo no so no osanso ede wo ne ma amba so wate ase eti ubebisa se na sansensem we kura no enwuma be mu ne wo sansensem we a efa Lilith wo mo kire se oye Adam first wife enwuma be mu ne wo abrantie bi na kiro ye opani bi ana kiro ye opani no efe no Ben Sirac tie na Ben Sirac ne papa ye frɛ no Yeshua eti ye ba kwahwɛ Ben Sirac ne nsɛm a ɔtwerɛ ya efa this myth about Adam and Lilith ye ba kwahwɛ ne nsɛm no odi sa medase but obet me yefi so sɛ umbisa sɛ Ben Sirac ɔyɛ hwan a ɔyɛ scribe anasa ɔyɛ ɔpanin bi a na we bet make say historian yeah ana ɔtwerɛ books but ɔtwerɛ no ɔwɔ book back bi a yɛfrɛ no the alphabet of Ben Sirac na book we mu ana o describe Lilith ɛkyerɛ sɛ ne nti a Bible kan sɛ Onyankopɔn bɔ ɔba ɛne bɛrima that day no ana sɛ Bible kan sɛ that day but Onyankopɔn bɔ ɔba ne bɛrima no ɛyɛ Lilith ɛne Adam na Onyankopɔn bɔ yɛ saa ana na ɔpa akyerɛ ɛwɔ ne book nim eti ne book no mu kyerɛ sɛ ɔne King Solomon di nkɔmɔ menim so ɔne ne di nkɔmɔ ni suade hunu mu sɛ physical ana no ka kyerɛ King Solomon sɛ King Solomon ehu ɛyɛ Lilith ɛne nneɛma bi ɛna King Solomon bisa sɛ na we mu yɛ den ana no kyerɛ mu akyerɛ King Solomon sɛ abayo yɛ hu no yɛ fɛ na Lilith na ebetwe mo Onyankopɔn bɔ ne Adam na ɔbɔ ne Adam no ɛna disobey Adam no tu free Garden of Eden no kope baby tina nsensem bebre mu munan yanko ni nko tie nsem ne mra yanko ni nko tie the alphabet of Ben Sira na yemra ye bape afa me bie phone lines no atum na se wo asem bia wo wabisa Sumerians ya wabisa Sumerians nti yanko na ko video ni message ya
1000 CE. This alphabet of Ben Sira is where the myth of Lilith gets its most popular place in modern culture. It's the story that most people think of when they think of Lilith today. Alphabet of Ben Sira 23 A through B says, "Soon afterward the young son of the king took ill. Nebuchadnezzar said, 'Heal my son. If you don't, I will kill you.' Ben Sira immediately sat down and wrote an amulet with the holy name, and he inscribed on it the angels in charge of medicine by their names, forms, and images, and by their wings, hands, and feet. Nebuchadnezzar looked at the amulet and said, 'Who are these angels?' Ben Sira replied, 'The angels who are in charge of healing, Sinoi, Sansinoi, and Samangiloth. When God created Adam, he was alone. Then God said, 'It is not good for man to be alone.' Then he also created a woman from the earth, as he had created Adam, and called her Lilith. Adam and Lilith immediately began to fight about sex. Lilith said, 'I will not lie on bottom.' And Adam says, 'Well, I will not lie on bottom, but only on top. For you are fit only to be on the bottom position during sex, because I am the superior one.' Lilith responded, 'We are equal to each other, inasmuch as we are both created from the earth.' But they would not listen to one another. When Lilith saw this, she pronounced the name of God and flew away into the air. Adam stood in prayer before his Creator. 'Sovereign God of the universe, the woman you gave me has run away.' And at once God blessed Adam and sent these 3 angels to bring her back. God said to Adam, 'If she agrees to come back, what is made is good. If not, she must permit 100 of her children to die every day.' The angels left God and pursued Lilith, who they overtook in the midst of the sea, in the mighty waters wherein the Egyptians were destined to drown. They told her God's word, but she did not wish to return. The angel said, 'We shall drown you in the sea.' 'Leave me be,' shouted Lilith. 'I was created only to cause sickness to infants. If the infant is male, I have dominion over him for 8 days after his birth, and if female, for 20 days. When the angels heard Lilith's words, they insisted she go back, but she swore to them by the name of the living and eternal God, 'Whenever I see you or your names or the forms in an amulet, I will have no power over that infant.' She also agreed to have 100 of her children die every day. Accordingly, every day 100 demons perished, and for the same reason we write the angels' names on the amulets of young children. When Lilith sees their names, she remembers her oath, and the child recovers." And so here we get the story of Lilith being Adam's first wife. Lilith wasn't created from Adam's rib like Eve was. She was created from the saint of Ben Sira. This text is dated sometime between 700 and 1000 CE. This alphabet of Ben Sira is where the myth of Lilith gets its most popular place in modern culture. It's the story that most people think of when they think of Lilith today. Alphabet of Ben Sira 23 A through B says, "Soon afterward the young son of the king took ill. Nebuchadnezzar said, 'Heal my son. If you don't, I will kill you.' Ben Sira immediately sat down and wrote an amulet with the holy name, and he inscribed on it the angels in charge of medicine by their names, forms, and images, and by their wings, hands, and feet. Nebuchadnezzar looked at the amulet and said, 'Who are these angels?' Ben Sira replied, the angels who are in charge of healing, Sinoi, Sansinoi, and Samangiloth. When God created Adam, he was alone. Then God said, it is not good for man to be alone. Then he also created a woman from the earth, as he had created Adam, and called her Lilith. Adam and Lilith immediately began to fight about sex. Lilith said, I will not lie on bottom. And Adam says, well, I will not lie on bottom, but only on top. For you are fit only to be on the bottom position during sex, because I am the superior one. Lilith responded, we are equal to each other, inasmuch as we are both created from the earth. But they would not listen to one another. When Lilith saw this, she pronounced the ineffable name of God and flew away into the air. Adam stood in prayer before his Creator. Sovereign God of the universe, the woman you gave me has run away. And at once God blessed Adam and sent these 3 angels to bring her back. God said to Adam, if she agrees to come back, what is made is good. If not, she must permit 100 of her children to die every day. The angels left God and pursued Lilith, who they overtook in the midst of the sea, in the mighty waters wherein the Egyptians were destined to drown. They told her God's word, but she did not wish to return. The angel said, we shall drown you in the sea. Leave me be, shouted Lilith. I was created only to...
Eti, eye ensem a Ben Sira eka kire Nebukadnezar no ena wote ye no ha ena na wote ye no producer ambassador ifi sumame what you say ensem a eye Ben Sira eka kire Nebukadnezar no ensem no ana wote ye no ensem nyina ne say Ben Sira ngomanim no, which is the alphabet of Ben Sira. Ya twere ewo mu. Ha, na ya twere ewo mu say Nebukadnezar
Are you a singer? Do you want to be a star? Then Sirius TV brings to you the biggest gospel reality show, Sirius Gospel Throne. Come pick a form and audition to be installed on the Cyrus Gospel Throne. Prizes to be won, an awesome recording deal and a cash prize. Call or WhatsApp 059-501-7757. Cyrus Gospel Throne, its name be glorified.
Me count for Cyrus Media College at the amount. Cyrus Media College a suapon kese a o machira kwan ewo Ablekuma abe ase post office na omuduma omudie no ebi radio and TV presentation afei so no omoye video editing, graphic designing, journalism and media studies.
And I can boldly say that Sirius Media College is one of the best media college in Ghana. So I recommend it for everyone who has completed junior high school, senior high school, or even at the tertiary level.
It is a open mature kwanya fra ahomeye 020-453-4946 and now obetimi so afre 024-647-2344. Cyrus Media College, excellence in creativity. Cyrus Media College, we are the best. Me count for Cyrus Media College at the amount. Cyrus Media College a suapon kese a o machira kwan ewo Ablekuma abe ase post office na omuduma omudie no ebi radio and TV presentation afei so no omoye video editing, graphic designing, journalism and media studies.
And I can boldly say that Sirius Media College is one of the best media college in Ghana. So I recommend it for everyone who has completed junior high school, senior high school, or even at the tertiary level.
It is a open mature kwanya fra
Ghana. So I recommend it for everyone who has completed junior high school, senior high school, or even